Miss G, whenever you're ready, you can start. You know, I have a tendency to talk a little too much with our campers because, you know, it's nice to have 70 new friends that want to play Roblox with me. And I would say, you know, some people are grabbing their materials and stuff, so just take things a little slow, Miss G.
Well, don't worry. We are starting off learning a little bit about codes first. So we're going to learn about them and then we're going to do them. That way we kind of get to have some more time to gather things and learn a little bit about the history of it, because I think history is super cool. Do you guys like to learn the history of things sometimes, about like when it was first used? I really like to do that. So we're going to learn. Oh, got lemon juice on my paper cut because we're using lemon juice today. So we're going to learn a little bit about the history first, just a little bit, and this will give plenty of time for everybody to get their supplies together. So I think it'll be pretty good. So let me just share my screen, and then that will get us there. Where did it go? I'm going to find it. Let's go find my lovely, here we go. I'm going to copy the link and I'm going to put what I'm going over into the chat so you guys can read through it later if you like. You can learn more about everything using that presentation. There it is. If it doesn't work or if you don't want to click on that, that's okay. I'm going to be putting it on the screen and sharing it in just a sec. So, all right. Can you guys all see and hear that and hear me okay?
I can hear you, but there's a little bit of a screen issue right now, it looks like. I see a box. There we go. Now I can see it, everything.
There we go. All good? You guys can see it okay? Nice. Let me just... all right. And I may not be able to see some questions in chat because I'm in a little bit of a different room today. Is there still a box on the screen right now?
Yes, it's up in the top right.
There we go. Well, if you guys have any questions, make sure you put them into chat and then I will get to those as soon as I can. But first, we're going to learn a little bit of the history. And like I said, I'm on a different computer than I was last week. So if things are a little bit different today, so just let me know if you need any help or if you need a question. I will make sure to pause and Mr. Sheik or Mr. Halberg will let me know if that question's coming up. So we are learning about codes and cryptography today. And actually, there we go. Nice and big screen. There we go. Codes and cryptography. Now, you guys have already said that you learned some about this before. And maybe some of you have done coding or modifications in a video game. But today we're going to do some old-fashioned codes that you can do with materials like paper and lemon juice and pens and pencils and the different supply lists that I gave to you guys. Now, why do we need codes? I have a couple of reasons on the screen, but can you guys think of any reasons that we would need a code? What do you guys think? Why would we need codes? What are some reasons? And the reasons I have is maybe to keep a message secret, to keep personal information safe. There's lots of codes that go into like on a computer, like if you've done coding, that's what they do on a computer to keep information safe. Like if you buy something online, that way not everybody can buy things using your money. Yeah, if you have a secret. For the knave, Lily. All right, I don't know what a knave is. For a game. Oh, for the Navy, yeah. Like the Navy, the Army, they would have to keep things secret to make it something that changes for your favorite game. Yeah, government secrets. Or like I have on the screen here, you might just do it for fun, right? Because why not do it for fun? Okay, now guys, we have to learn two words, steganography versus cryptography. So steganography is when you disguise a message in plain sight. So this might be if you have to wear special glasses to see a message because it's there and you don't have to like come up with any secret way to find the message. It's just you wear glasses, or maybe here's an interesting way that people used to hide messages. They would shave their head and write the message on their head and then grow their hair back. Now that would take a long time to do a message like that, right?
And some of us are incapable of doing messages like that. I speak from experience.
Well,
Because
I mean, you could wear a hat too. But that would take a long time, right? If you tried to grow your hair to cover a message written on your head. Wouldn't that be funny? But that's steganography, when you hide the message, but if anybody finds it, they can read it no problem. Cryptography is now when you change the letters or words to encrypt your message. So if you're encrypting your message, that means if somebody reads it, they still don't know what it means, even if it. Well, Akira, good question. They actually did it as a tattoo on their head. So it was like a very important secret message. So they would tattoo it or do something like a permanent ink that would take a long time to wash off. Yeah, Wafik, like an anagram would be a great way to encrypt your message. So an anagram is cryptography, but like if you hide your message underneath, like let's say you had, where do I have one? Do I have something here? No, I don't have an envelope with me. But like if you have an envelope and you hide the message under the stamp or something like that, that is steganography. You're hiding the message, but if somebody finds it, they can read it right away. So steganography, invisible ink, writing under a sticker or stamp, shaving your head. A microdot is like when you have a super duper duper small picture and then you have to use a microscope to read it, or a paper with cutouts. So it has like certain holes and the holes circle your message. So you could use something like that. And those are all forms of steganography.
so I got a question.
Yeah.
A lot of people, maybe someone in chat has seen this. Anyone ever hear of a QR code? It's like a little code that you might see on you might see them on TV, or you see them on like a piece of paper. Would that be considered like steganography too? Because it means nothing until you scan it, and then all of a sudden all this stuff pops up.
Oh, I guess that could be considered steganography because it's there in plain sight. And you're right, it doesn't mean anything until you scan it. So if you and your spy friend were the only ones who had this special phone and you could find the message, that would be perfect. But anybody with the phone can use a QR code now. So it's only secret from people who don't have phones. And I did see somebody said, so Miguel and Alejandro said, what if you use both to make it harder? That is a great idea. You use invisible ink, and then the invisible ink is using cryptography. That'd be a great idea. So, and then there's also codes versus ciphers. So a code is when you use a new letter or symbol to represent the message you are encoding. So you could use a different alphabet, like maybe you use the Greek alphabet to write a message in English, or you use sign language. Sign language is like a code, or use code words. So like instead of saying, I'm gonna go to my house, you say, I'm going to go to I don't know, what would you call your house? I'm going to the awesome place. I don't know, something like that. It's a code word. Or instead of saying, I'm gonna pet my dog, you say, I'm going to pet the woofer, something like that. Those are codes. A cipher is when you're using math or patterns for your message. So there's some kind of solving you have to do to figure it out. So when you're doing coding and everything on the computer, those are forms of ciphers because often there's math involved behind a code and a pattern. Now, this has been used a lot throughout history, and there have been lots of really cool codes and ciphers and steganography throughout history. Now, let me see, next page. There's a really cool one. During the Revolutionary War, they did a really cool thing called the Culper spy ring, and they did lots of codes. And they would use numbers to replace words. So like it says up here, George Washington was known as Agent 711. That's pretty cool, right? And they had a code book full of words. And these are some examples of their words. So they would just replace every single word with a number. And so if you opened it up, you're like, what? Why is somebody writing so many numbers on this page? And the reason is because they were trying to write a secret message. And it would probably take a long time to decode, right? Because there's so many numbers, but it worked. Only if you had the special code book would you be able to read the message. And so what we're going to do now is we're going to make some codes for ourselves. So you guys ready to do some codes? I do have some more information about codes and everything, but we're going to do a project because I think everybody has their supplies now. If you want to read more about the codes, I can put the link to this in chat so you guys can learn more about it. But right now, do you guys have these supplies? If you have these supplies here, I think you guys will be ready to go for our first code, okay? You guys ready for this one? Make sure you have your lemon juice, water, tea, coffee, cup, paper, paintbrush, some kind of heat source. I'm going to be using a candle, but I recommend using a hairdryer instead. So I'm going to be trying to use a candle. So we'll see. Maybe I'll be playing with fire today, which is not a good idea, but I'm going to try it. But if any of you have a hairdryer, it's going to work a lot faster than my candle. But, you know, it should be fun. So first off, you want to start off with just a blank piece of paper. Does everybody have a blank piece of paper that you can be working with? And if you guys have everything from this list, I'm going to stop sharing my screen so you guys can see my video a little bit better. All right, so can you guys see my video okay? I'm starting off with a piece of paper. Oh my, here we go, piece of paper. Now, on this piece of paper, there's a couple things that you could do first. You could decide to, because you're going to be writing with lemon juice on it, if you just write with lemon juice, that might show up on your paper, right? It might show up. Somebody might be able to tell, hey, wait, why is this part wet? Because somebody drew on it. So what I did ahead of time was I made myself disappear, magic trick. You see what I did here? On this piece of paper, I used some coffee and I drew with coffee on my paper first. That way, it already got wet a little bit. It got a little bit crinkled. So if I draw with lemon juice, it won't be as obvious because I made it look like it's just a coffee covered piece of paper. So does that kind of make sense, guys? Make it a little bit wet first so that it doesn't show up that you're going to be drawing with lemon juice next. So all what I did was I took a little paint palette. You can use a little cup or you can use just any other way to get your material. I have some lemon juice in one. Let me see, I have some coffee here and I have some lemon juice over here. So now I can use both of these. I use the coffee with a Q-tip. You can use a paintbrush, but I used a Q-tip because it worked very well. And then you just dip it in the coffee and then you paint on your paper. Now, I did it a little while ago, so mine's already dried out a bit. If you're just doing it now, you can shake it, blow on it so it cools off. So it dries off. Or if you don't want to draw on it with coffee, you have another option. I wrote a message on my paper ahead of time. Now, why would I write the message on my paper without using lemon juice? Why would I write on it without lemon juice first? What do you think? This is just an idea. You don't have to do this, but why do you think I would write a message first? And I wrote, "Dear secret agent, there is no danger at all. Don't worry. Go to the restaurant. It is not dangerous. It is perfectly safe. Love, Mom." Yes, so I could use another thing to hide the message, to cover it up. William Isaac, good idea. And yes, if you don't have a heat source, you can use it later. So you could use like a really hot light bulb for it. You hold the paper on the light bulb. You can use a hairdryer, or if you're very careful, you can use a candle. But candles take a long time and it might burn your secret message, so you have to be careful. I don't know if the sun will be hot enough unless you use like a magnifying glass to like refract the sunlight. That might work then. So now you see I have my secret message and then I have my paper. Oops,
So you're gonna have to get rid of your background in order to see it because it's kind of
Yeah, I think so. I think my background's messing up. Oh, and now you guys will get to see that I have a bunch of board games in my background. Oh no. Oh wait, no, you can't see them. Yeah, this is the game room, so you guys get to see all my board games now. But now let's see. With this message here, what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna take the clean side of my Q-tip, gonna dip it in and just do a little bit. If you do too much, when you get the paper wet, it kind of makes it dry funny, doesn't it? So you want to do just a tiny little bit. So if you do a tiny little bit, now it won't show up as much on your paper, so it's not obvious that you used a code. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to highlight some words. I'm going to highlight, there is danger. Don't go to the restaurant. It is dangerous. So now I'm highlighting only the words that I want on the paper. So it looks like it says one thing, but I highlight the words that have a different message. Yes, you should be able to use lime juice because it still is a nice sour one. It should show up when you use it. So if you have lime juice, that should work just as well. Now I have to let this dry for a bit. You can blow on it. You can kind of shake it a little bit. If you have an air conditioner or a fan, you can put it in front of that. So I'm going to let this one message start going. Now I also have my paper that I drew with coffee on already. I'm going to try drawing a, what should I draw? Should I draw what should I draw a picture of? I'm going to do a picture this time. And that's going to be my secret message. And because my paper is covered in coffee, see how it's already a little bit wrinkly and looks a little bit stained? I'm going to see if that helps to hide my message. What should I draw? I'm going to draw a beautiful picture right now. A heart? Oh, I like it. I'm going to draw a heart on my paper. Not too big, but there we go. I drew it. And now it just has to dry. Right now it's wet, so you can kind of see it a little bit because my paper is still wet. But I'm going to let that dry off. All right, another message. Or you can do it on a plain piece of paper too. If you didn't want to write a message ahead of time, or if you didn't put coffee on it ahead of time, that's okay. I'm going to let those messages dry now. And then once they've dried for a little bit, I'm going to use my candle, heat it up, and we'll see what kind of messages it says. All right, now let me see. Maybe I'll write a couple other messages on it. Does anybody need more time to do this one? Because I think while our papers are drying, we can switch over and do the other one for a little bit. Yep, you can let it air dry. I'm going to let mine air dry for a bit while we do the next one. So you guys ready to try our other cipher? Our other code? If you guys are still drawing on this, that's okay. Let me share with you guys what our second activity is going to be. Our second one is going to be something called a transposition cipher. Specifically, a psi-tail cipher. Now, transposition cipher, what does that mean? So transposition, it means like when you transport something, you're moving it from one place to another. So transposition means you're changing the position of something. So we're going to be doing something, a psi-tail cipher, while we wait for our other paper to dry. And if you're still writing a secret message, that's okay. If you're ready to try the next one, gather these materials. So I have some paper cut into long, even strips. Going to need that. If you don't have paper cut into long, even strips, all you need to do is get a piece of paper and start cutting it into even strips. So let me see. You can measure it. So let me see, I actually have a tape measure right here. I'm going to measure out the distance on mine. It's like, I think if I make it as wide as my tape measure, that would be a pretty good idea, right? That's a nice width. So now I can mark it on my paper. I want to make it that wide, and I need to make a few of them. All right, so then if you don't have long strips, I just marked it out. Now I'm just going to cut them across the paper. Here we go. And if they're not perfectly even, that's okay. They just have to be mostly even. So I'm just cutting into long strips for our next one right here. Do you guys have any questions so far? You guys need any more time on something? I didn't see any questions, but I want to make sure that I'm not missing anything. There we go. And for this next one, all we need is the long, thin strips. That's all that we need for this. Well, we don't need the whole paper. We do have other tools. You guys have any questions on this one? Everybody have some nice, long, thin strips of paper? All right, I will hold them up here, see? They don't have to be perfect, but they're pretty close to being even. As long as they're pretty close, you're good. All right, now here's the next part. Now that I have all these long, thin strips, why do I have these? Well, because I need to make a long string of paper. So what you do now is you take some lovely tape. I mean, it can be ugly tape too, but if you have some lovely tape, that's especially nice. And all what I do is I take my paper and I tape the ends together because I'm trying to make a really, really long strip of paper. That's my goal. So I'm going to take this, tape it together. So see, now I have a longer strip. And now I can do another one. And the longer the strip of paper is, the longer your secret message can be. So if you want to write a really long one, guys, you want a long piece of paper. But I taped a few together. Look at that. Nice and long. You guys have yours taped together? You guys good? I'm going to take mine a little bit longer now. What if I want to write like a whole book on my secret message? I'm going to need a lot of paper. All right, now what in the world do we do with this long piece of paper? Once you have it, grab something that you and your friend who you're sharing the message with, you have to have the exact same thing. So I have this cool wooden dowel here. If you and your friend have the same wooden dowel, awesome, but it has to be exactly the same. Something that you might have that's exactly the same is maybe you have like a drinking bottle, like this one, like a Nalgene bottle. If you have this is a perfect thing for you and your friend to write a message on. So it has to be the exact same thing, because if it's not exactly the same, it won't work. So now I'm wrapping it around. See this? I wrap it around. And I'm just going to tape it in place so that I can write my message on it for now. So it doesn't move around. Okay. It's not going to stay on my bottle. I'm going to take it off, but it's going to be there for now. So you guys see that? It's just taped around my bottle. All right, now what is going to be my secret message? Take out your pen or your pencil, and then you can just start writing a message. So what should my secret message be? I don't know. What's a good secret message? I like cats. Okay, that's a good secret message. Now, depending on how wide your paper is, you want to really space out your letters. So don't just start writing it. Think about, you want to space your letters. So if I'm going to say I like cats, I'm going to space it out. So it says I-L-I-K-E. So look at this. It says, can you guys see that okay? I don't know. Let's see. See that? How it says I like cats, but the spacing is a little weird? Because I'm trying to put it so there's only 2 letters on each piece of paper. So it makes it a little bit hard to read, but that means nobody will be able to read your message. So now I'm going to just keep writing, I like cats. And I'm going to put a period. Do you like cats? All right, there we go. So now I have the message. I like cats. Do you like cats? Now, why do we have all this extra paper? How is this even a secret message? It clearly says, I like cats. Do you like cats? How are we going to make this into a secret message? What do you guys think? Akira, you got it. We're going to write some random letters. So now you just start writing random letters. So I'm going to write like an A here. I'm going to write another T. I'm going to write a Z. I'm going to write an E. Just a bunch of random letters. And sometimes you want to write letters that you use a lot. So that way it looks like realistic letters. So look at that. I'm just writing so many random things. Random letters. Now here's where the code comes in. Look at this. If I could keep writing random letters, but I'm going to take it off so you guys can see what it looks like. Now, if I unwrap it from my bottle, now look at this. If I look at my paper, it has a few letters at the top, then it has a lot of blank space, then it has more letters, then it has blank space and has more letters. But if I look at the start of the letters, can you tell what this says? Can you tell that it said, I like cats? It looks like it says, "Il at yo cat the igly." So that doesn't seem like a real message at all, does it? And if I look at the next part, it says, "Ix ult el au good." You say that all the time. Wow. So now it looks like a weird message. And now let's say somebody came along and tried to break your message. They're like, oh, I'm going to use this random thing. If you wrap it around a random thing, it's not going to help you with your message. Look at this. None of the letters lined up because it's the wrong size. So the paper doesn't match. So now nobody will be able to tell what it says. It says something completely random. What did you guys write for your codes? You guys come up with any cool stuff? And you can use longer paper. If you want a longer message, you can use shorter paper. If you want a shorter message, sometimes you only wrap it one time around, sometimes twice. But now you have this random piece of paper and you could just, I'm going to stick it to my ceiling. I'm going to stick it to my ceiling. It's now just a random streamer with random letters. And so there it is. Just looks like a random piece of paper with letters on it. And now no one will know what I was trying to do. Meet me at 1. Oh, science rules. Nice. Aiden, you're keeping it a secret, what you're saying? Oh. Let me see. And you could just make more. I made a lot of paper, so I could just make tons of messages with mine. So try doing it. See what it looks like if you use different sizes, what you like best. All kinds of fun different ones. Oh, nice, Akira. Yeah, you could do that. And if you guys have yours and you don't want it to get ruined, you can take tape. Here's an idea. You guys can take tape and cover over your letters. So if you don't want, like, if you don't want it to get wet by mistake or to ruin your letters, you can tape over the letters so that they can't get smudged. So if you want to just put tape over it, that's a great way to keep it from getting smudged later on. So I'm going to just put tape all around these letters, and that way they won't get messed up. So that way, if you like put it somewhere, you use it, if you hand it to a friend, it doesn't get dirt on the letters. It keeps them nice and safe. So that's a great idea. So if you have like masking tape or packing tape, or if you just want to use a lot of regular tape, that way it covers over your letters and they won't get smudged if you hand it off to a friend, or, you know, if you as a spy are going through the rain, you know, you got to keep your message safe. Now, how else could I bring this message with me? I just have a long strip of paper. How could I bring this message so it's not suspicious? What could I do? Ooh, wrapped it around a pen. That's a good way. Now it just looks like you have paper on your pen. It's like it's a different size message. Yeah, you could fold it up, Akira. You could do that. Crumple it. Yeah, if you want to crumple it, Miguel or Alejandro, if you want to crumple it up, you definitely want to cover it with something first so it doesn't get too crumpled. But yeah, if I wanted to just kind of crumple it like this a little bit, I'm not going to crumple it too hard, but if I just crumple it up, I could even put it in like a trash bag so it looks like it's just trash, and then bring the trash bag with me and say, oh, I'm just going to the trash can to throw this out. But really, you're bringing a secret message. One way that they used these in the past was they would write it on leather. And so if they had it written on leather, what could you do with leather to help bring your secret message? You could soak it and get it wet. You could use it as a bracelet. Yeah, if you have a leather bracelet or like a leather belt, use it as part of armor. Tristan, Grayson, good idea. Look at this. I put it as a bracelet on my wrist, so it just looks like I made a craft bracelet, but really, it's a secret message. Oh my goodness. William Isaac, I don't think I can find your message in that picture. It just looks like random pieces of paper. Yeah, you could put it in your shoe. Yeah, but it's just hiding it, right? The message is there. Nobody even needs to use math or codes or computers or anything. They just need to have the right bottle or the right pen or the right piece of wood to wrap it on. Very cool. All right, let me go put the streamer back on my ceiling. There we go. I'm just going to have a party with streamers that happen to have secret codes on them, you know, a very normal thing I do all the time. All right, now you guys ready for our secret code from earlier? Mine is pretty dry now, so I think I'm ready to reveal the code. You guys ready to reveal your code with your lemon juice paper? So if you guys have a hair dryer or if you have a really hot light bulb you're going to use, sadly my light bulbs are nice. Actually, wait, how hot are my light bulbs? Let me see. Woo! Ouch, that light bulb burns me. So if that doesn't work, I can use my really hot light bulb. It's very hot, guys. Don't touch them with your fingers. Only use them on your paper. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to try using a candle. And if my candle doesn't work, I'm going to switch to my light bulb. But I recommend you guys start with a hair dryer because I accidentally caught some paper on fire when I did this last time. So definitely be very careful if that's what you want to do. Ooh, cool, ancient Egypt. Yes, I caught some paper on fire. All right, now let me see. I'm gonna put it. Now, if you're using fire, don't put it too close. Let's look at my candle. Where's my candle? Here we are. All right, let's see the candle. Put it nice and close. Don't put it too close or it'll burn it. But it slowly reveals it with the heat. If you guys are using a hair dryer, be much better. So I recommend using a hair dryer or a hot light bulb instead. Ooh, look at this. Do you guys see that? It's starting to turn brown underneath a couple of my words. So I'm going to keep holding it up nice and close to my candle. Not too close because I don't want it to burn. See how I keep moving it because I don't want it to get burned in one place. So I'm just kind of heating it up carefully. If you use a hair dryer, it works a lot better. But I don't have a hair dryer with me right here. So I decided to use the tools that I have. Let me see. Did anybody start doing it on theirs? What tools are you guys using? Are you using a candle? Are you using a hair dryer? Are you using a you guys using a light bulb that's hot? What are you guys doing to reveal your secret messages? A hairdryer? Smart. Ooh, all right. Mine is starting to reveal itself. Now, I know where I drew my code. If I was the friend who got this message, I wouldn't know where to put the heat right away, so I would just need to heat the whole message. But because I'm the one who made this code, I know exactly which letters to go on. Ooh, looking good. Oh, it's showing up really nicely now. My message is almost revealed, and then you guys can see it, and then I'm gonna try to reveal my drawings. And I want to see on camera if you guys got your drawings and everything to be revealed. I want to see those secret messages. Anybody have theirs already done and want to show it on camera? All right, look at this, guys. Can you read the message? I'm trying to show it on the camera. Can you see it okay? Yeah, if it's not working, make sure you're using enough heat. If you're using a hairdryer, you want to make sure it's hot enough. Place it on the hot setting. Hold it nice and close to the paper. I don't know, William, who is coming to you? Or is somebody coming to Isaac? Or are you guys going to meet each other? That's the thing. You guys have to meet each other at 1 tomorrow. Yeah, but you guys can see the message okay? So it says, there is danger. Don't go to the restaurant. It is dangerous. So the message says one thing, but the code says something else. And that way, if somebody else finds the message, they think, oh, whew, they don't suspect that it's dangerous. They think it's perfectly fine. But really, you're saying the opposite of what you meant. So yeah, sometimes it might take a while. I have to put mine pretty close to the candle to get it to heat up. Now, let me see. No, I'm not going to hold it up to a, I could hold it up to a light too. Let me see if I can get my shape to reveal. I drew some pictures on this paper. Let me see if I can get the picture to reveal itself. Anybody have theirs and want to show it on camera? If you have it on camera, you can raise your hand and then put it on the camera, and that way it'll show up at the front of the list. Oh, Hector and Rolis, I see there's a lot of writing on your paper. That's awesome. You really got it to show up. Oops, I blew up my candle. I have to go light another one. It didn't work so well, Gideon? The hairdryer does work, but it takes practice making sure that you're putting it just close enough or not too far. Oh, Miguel Alejandra, did you guys get it to work, or are you want to show us a different code? What do you guys see? Oh, you have your side-tail cipher? Nice. Nice long strip of paper there. Are you going to reveal the message? Okay, they're going to reveal the message, guys. Anybody else want to reveal what you've been doing? And it takes practice, and it takes a lot of patience. Like I said, some people, they shave their heads, tattooed a message, let the hair grow back, and then they went on a trip. It takes a lot of patience for secret messages sometimes. So you have to decide, is it worth sending this message? Sometimes it's not worth it, so people would just send the message without a code. And then other times they decided, nope, I'm going to wait like 5 months to send the message on this guy's head. Exactly. If it was easy, everyone could do it and it wouldn't be secret. And that's why we're not all computer hackers, right? That's why we're not all able to break codes on computers and everything, because they make it hard. They want it to be a hard job so that no one can break the code and so everything stays safe. Oh, cool, William. Cool, Isaac. I can see you have it all wrapped around. I don't know. What does it say? I have to look at your picture up close. Meet I can see where it says meet and it says like at, but I don't see the time. Oh, 1 p.m. Oh, I can kind of read what it says. Awesome. And so the more practice you guys get with drawing it, the more practice you get, the better your codes will end up looking. So sometimes it might not work the first time, and then suddenly it starts working the next time you do it. Anybody else want to show theirs? Ooh, all right, guys. I think we have a really cool secret language demonstration. You guys want to see, as you guys are still working on like decoding your messages and everything, you want to listen to a secret language? Oh, Aubrey, that's a code. You guys ready for a secret language demonstration? All right, well, I'm ready for it.
Oh, hello. So I mentioned that my sister and I have our own secret language. So you can hear her. I have her on the phone. Can you guys hear all right? Beverly, say something.
Hi, everyone.
She coming through? All right, great. So she's not here. She is at her house, just chilling. She cannot see all of your chat messages. So you can say something to the chat. And what I will do is I will say it in our secret language, and she will speak it back in English, assuming that we get this right. So what would you like me to say in our secret language? This is 100% legitimate. There's no smoke and mirrors here. She's not seeing your messages. Go ahead, write something in the chat. All right, I got a message. Hopalapo.
All right, let's hear it.
Okay, it says Hopalapo dopper, wapalapi opum.
Say the last bit again. Hello there, what?
Wapalapi opum.
It's coming in kind of choppy. Hello there. Oh, man. I don't know. Say the last word again. One more time.
Wapalapi opum. Opet, opis, ope,
William?
noping. Yes.
William?
Yes.
Hello there, William?
Yes.
Oh, okay.
That was our first message. All right, I got another one here. Mapai dopog, opis, smopal.
My dog is small.
That is another one. Correct. Wapi opor frappens.
We are friends?
Yes, we are friends. No, nobody's saying any bad words. What other messages can I get here? Somebody said it sounds like Ubby Dubby, and they're onto something. I'm surprised someone knew what Ubby
They
Dubby
are
was.
onto something.
That's an old reference to an old show that we used to watch. Okay, here's another one.
Does sound like it.
Apai lapike, hapat wapios kapars.
Copars. I like Hot Wheels cars.
Yes,
You messed up the last word.
I did. There's a key, a secret to this language that we have, but my sister and I have our own, I guess you could call it a verbal cipher.
Yes.
All right,
Very
here,
much like Ubby Dubby.
yes.
We could
Saponapik,
speak Ubby Dubby if we wanted to.
wubby dubby cupboard. All right, here's
We
another
could.
one. Mapang frapaft apes ape fapon gaping.
Minecraft is a fun game.
Yep. Vapa krako dapa. That's a tough word. Vapa krapo capo dapalapo apes hopon grappy.
Crocodile is hungry?
Yes, yes. Okay. This one is in all caps, so somebody's very passionate about it. Foport not bite, apes vapa bopis gapim ape vapor.
Oh, they got a thing against Minecraft that they like Fortnite. It's the best game ever.
Yeah.
That's funny.
All right, so I will not reveal the secret. If you think you know it, you can try and message me for what the secret is to speaking the language. I can try a couple more if you want to try and figure it out, but it's not an easy one.
Well, it took us a long time to learn it.
Yes, it took some practice for the two of us to get it down. And as you can tell, like it takes me a while to sound out each word. Somebody said, Dapu Yapu Lapik Dopogs.
I love dogs. I have a dog.
She does. Her dog is fantastic.
Do you like dogs? I didn't translate it. I just answered it.
Yes. And somebody said, Apai Lapik Yapa Napikoporns.
Unicorns. That's cool. I like unicorns too.
I think Hector might be trying to have us repeat a message to try and decode it. So he said, Apai Lapik Smapple Fopish Open Dopogs.
I like small fish and dogs.
Yes. Is it double Dutch? I'm not sure what double Dutch is, but
that's a jump rope game.
Oh, okay. But I know we mentioned like Pig Latin before, and Pig Latin is where you take the first letter of a word and move it to the end and add a to the end of it. So dog would be all day. This has a different rule than Pig Latin, but it's a similar method of where you change the words as you speak it. So are there any other questions? Do I have a cat? Why, did you see him running around? Well, Beverly, thank you for joining us in the camp for that demonstration.
No problem.
She says no problem.
Have a good day.
You too. Bye. All right. So I just like to show off where I can.
All right. That was awesome. Thanks for sharing.
You're
Guys, codes are so cool, aren't they? So that was like a code because they kept replacing different words with something that sounded kind of similar, but a little bit different. And that actually reminds me of, it like has all these real words, right? And it's just a little bit different. It reminds me of, if you want to see that lesson that I had showed, I can share the PowerPoint again. I'm actually gonna, let me just share that with you guys, because in it, in history, there were these people called the Navajo code talkers, and they would speak the Navajo language. And it was like a code because not really many people spoke Navajo. And so they would just speak their regular language and nobody could figure out what they were saying because they were just speaking so quickly in a real language that so many people did not understand. So they just could talk without needing to write it down, and they would translate it right away because they understood it. So if you guys want to learn more about codes, click on that presentation I sent in there. You guys might find some of those codes interesting. There's also another code that you guys can do on your own later in that one. But I think that's all we have for today, guys. I hope you enjoyed your first day of Science Week.
All right. Does anybody have any other questions? It seems like everybody really enjoyed Mr. James' secret language that he has there. That's pretty cool. And you burnt the hole in the paper, Miss J. What are you doing?
And that's why you use a hairdryer.
But I hope everybody had a bunch of fun. So listen, once again, Mr. James, can you go over what we'll be doing tomorrow for summer camp for your portion?
All right. So for tomorrow, and I already closed out that slide there, but let me bring it back up. Tomorrow, we are going to be working with liquids. So I plan on setting up something that is a table back here. So I'm not pouring liquids next to my computer. And I recommend you do something similar, because whether it is water, milk, oil, you don't want to spill liquids on your computer. And I'll share the supplies again here. Let me go back to screen sharing.
And you'll get an email today too about the supplies for tomorrow as well for this activity, as well as there's going to be another activity called shaking up butter. Basically, we're going to see the science behind how butter gets made. So that's going to be kind of cool too.
Right. So this will kind of tie into butter because butter is made out of some oils and liquids, and we're going to be working with oils and liquids. So the parts I said you could maybe, if you don't have, and I'll highlight these or make them a different color here, but if you don't have these ones I put in blue, then you can still do the activities. We're just going to do something called a density tower, and your tower will have one less layer or two less if you are missing more than one.
And
But
reminder for all the parents that might be listening, all this stuff you should be able to get for the most part at the dollar store.
Yes.
So it's all stuff that should be relatively inexpensive to get if you don't have it in the house. As a reminder, rubbing alcohol is not like other alcohol you've heard. Okay, it's not that stuff that only adults drink. It's not the alcohol that you find in mouthwash. There's alcohol in there too. Nope, it's a cleaning alcohol that is usually clear.
yeah, it's something that you might use if you get a cut or a scrape. You might use that to clean your cut or your scrape. So it's something you might find in the first aid aisle of a store or quick mart like Walgreens or something. As far as there are other ones, water, dish soap, and vegetable oil, and pepper, which honestly, the pepper you might not need because I might just do that as a demonstration for you, but you can do it along with me if you like.
How many people here have ever did the blobs in the bottle experiment? Raise your hand if you ever did blobs in a bottle or you made your own lava lamp. Anybody ever do that? See, one or two people raising their hands. Okay, this is going to be that, but on a whole nother level. If I think I understand what Mr. James is talking about, so that's going to be a lot of fun.
Yes, we are going to be making our own lava lamps tomorrow and our own density tower, and you'll get to see how we can mix water and oils or fats, and more specifically, how some things do not mix. We see liquids that are mixed together all the time, but sometimes we can get them to not mix in certain ways. That looks quite interesting. And then as far as the last one goes, any kind of clear sealable container, could be anything, could be a water bottle that you have. We're just going to be putting oil and water in this, so it's all cleanable. You can wash it and then drink out of it again if you have to. Old container for like peanut butter or jelly or an old pickle jar, anything of that sort works.
All right, Mr. James, do you mind not sharing the screen? Because I just want to make sure that everybody can see me. Hello, hello. We will be back tomorrow at 10 a.m., as Mr. James pointed out, with an excellent science activity. Let me ask you one thing I didn't see on that supply list, but I do want to point out if for some reason you're planning to use something that has a small hole, let's say a water bottle or something like that, where it's a little rough to get liquids in, you might want to get a funnel too. So just little FYI. Peanut butter jars and pickle jars and stuff like that, they have a really wide mouth, so you don't have to worry about that. But if you're planning to use something like a water bottle or something like that, get a little funnel too. We don't want to make a big mess. Once again, you all can email me when I send out these emails if you have any questions, anything like that. Also, we will be at the Carnegie Museum on Wednesday for all our friends that are out of Pittsburgh, and the Franklin Institute on Friday for all my friends that are in the Philly area. And if you want to join us at the Franklin Institute this Friday, please let me know. Just have your parents send me an email. I do have free tickets for the Franklin Institute. And Ms. G mentioned that what you're going to learn tomorrow is going to help connect to what she's teaching on Thursday, because we're making butter tomorrow, and Thursday, what are we making, Miss G?
We're going to be making homemade cheese on Thursday. So guys, make sure you have lots of milk in the house so you can make butter and cheese.
And then, we just get that candle, make a grilled cheese. No, I'm kidding. Don't use the candle to make grilled cheese. That's not good. But from 10 to 12, yes, you asked, 10 a.m. to noon will be the same time on Friday as well. 10 to 11, Mr. James is going to be doing an activity, and if I can pull it up real quick, believe I have that his activity, that's going to be the introduction to the human body. So he's going to be doing stuff with the human body and stuff. And then we're going to be seeing a live demonstration at the Franklin Institute with some Q&A. And we're making ice cream on Thursday. We did that last year. And if you were here last year, don't make the mistake Mr. Sheik made, which was he put a lot of salt in his ice cream and it was not good. But yeah, butter, ice cream, cheese. We're making all the snacks. But once again, if you're able to join us on Friday for the Franklin Institute, I personally will be there. Please let me know. I do have tickets for your mom and dad to make sure that you guys can get in for free and come join us. If you can't make it, that's okay. We're going to be broadcasting it live here. You'll be able to see the demonstration. You'll be able to ask questions. It's going to be a lot of fun like we did this past Friday. Any questions, any concerns, any thoughts? Anybody still working on their code? And you can put it right in chat. I see Jake, you raised your hand. Brady, you raised your hand. Just put it in chat. Let me know what is your question. And for the rest of you, if you don't have a question, you guys can leave. I will see you tomorrow. Please be safe. Please have fun. Please enjoy your summer. And I can't wait for all of us to see you tomorrow. We are going to the Carnegie Museum on Wednesday as well. Unfortunately, I don't really have too many tickets for that. If a family member does want tickets, I can see what I can do, but I can't promise anything. Friday, because I'll be there and I actually have the tickets in hand, I definitely can get you tickets for that. But Abby, I see you're asking for that. If your family wants to go to the Carnegie Museum and you want to go to on Wednesday, have your family shoot me an email and I'll see what I can do. Any tickets for Central PA? So I don't think we'll be doing something in person at Central PA, but I do have something special coming up. I'll tell you what, you email me, whoever was interested in something to Central PA, there's one or two things that are going on that don't have to do with summer camp, but that will be at, and I'll be able to send you something if your family wants to go, okay? And who knows something about a secret language? Someone's starting their own secret language. William and Isaac want to know my secret language only a little. Yeah, what to put in the chat, what's your secret at language? And Aubrey has a numerical at language. Miss G, what does it mean when someone has some sort of code, but it's all numbers?
That would be when you're using cryptography. You're using math or some kind of formula to turn it into something else. Like if I turn all of my A's into ones, B into two, but then I also like add a number. So now like a 1 gets added to a 6. Things like that would be cryptography.
You know what else sometimes is codes too? And it's not necessarily writing, but how many of you watch baseball? Any of you watch baseball? Anyone fans of baseball? How many of you are sports fans? Anybody sports fans at all? So in baseball, sometimes you'll see somebody that they'll be trying to signal and they'll do all this. And what they're doing is they're actually telling someone who might be on first base what they want them to do. In football, what we used to have something is that we had the quarterback. So that's the main guy that would tell everybody what you're about to do. He would have a little sleeve, something like this, right on his arm. And it would have numbers 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 that would say what we want him to do. But we had a code. If this was 1, this was 2, this was 3, this was 4, and so on and so forth. But once he did this, that meant that his code was over. So he might do, and that meant that was play 2, but then he would do other stuff. So you'd go, and so no one else would know what was going on, but we knew what that code was. So that's another way to do stuff too. So guys, after I did all that goofy stuff, Mr. James, one more thing. Can you show what you have on camera?
Cat cam?
That's definitely cat cam. What's your cat's name? We have to figure out your cat's name.
This is Dexter, and he is super friendly. He loves to be on camera as our cat mascot. I can't turn my camera, but about 2 feet that way is his sister Clementine, who's very camera shy and doesn't like to be picked up, so you probably won't see her. But Dexter loves to chill.
Dexter looks like he's ready for a snack, and the snack is your beard.
Yes.
All right, everybody. I will see you all tomorrow. And as I mentioned, I promise that all of you have pets. We'll figure out a day during summer camp. We'll do a little show and tell too. So, but I'll see all of you tomorrow. And I can't wait to see all of you and have fun. Once again, if you want to go to the Carnegie Museum or the Franklin Institute, please let me know. And I'll be happy to try to see if I can make that happen. Okay. Bye, everybody. Thank you so much for coming out. I hope you had fun.